Hi, I'm Phoenix Stacy, and you are watching Orgasm Central TV.
So how did you get started in this industry?
Oh gosh, I had a romantic partner that was into feet, and I have a background like from the corporate world and marketing, sales, public affairs, things like that. And he said, you'd be really good at like this is a thing, like you'd be really good at like marketing yourself and doing foot stuff like for money. And I'm like, no, whatever, like, no. And so I used to send him pictures of my feet because that's what he liked, right? So I would just send him random pictures throughout the day of my feet, what I was doing. And so he took all those pictures and started a Facebook page with like to show me. He was trying to prove a point, right? And I think I had like 5,000 followers in like 3 days. And so he shows me and he's like, see, like, and he's like, I wanted to show you. And I'm like, okay, so this could be a thing. Because really, my original background when I was 18, 19 years old, I was in the BDSM scene. So I was working as a switch, as a submissive and a dominant, depending on the clientele through a woman that I knew there. So I was young and I started out learning about BDSM through this woman who owned this business, right? And so I took a very long hiatus from that. I met my baby's father, and he really wasn't into that, and we fell in love, all the things, and I kind of took a step away from that. So it never was a thought really to get back into that until I was no longer with my baby's dad, and then I got remarried. It was a whole thing. But anyway, so I got back into it, and what I did know for sure is that I didn't want to be a lifestyle dominant anymore. Like that's a whole nother ball game for me. Like I didn't want to live that 24/7 like I was before, because it's a lot of mental energy that's draining. So I started back into the fetish and BDSM world through feet, and then it just kind of progressed into adding things in that I really enjoy doing, and taking hold of that and just running with the things that I enjoy, and not anything else. So if I don't like it, I won't do it. So that's kind of how that whole progression of my career started. And so it's been 10 years now that I'm back in the industry. Almost 11. It'll be 11 years next year in February.
Holy shit. That's
Yeah,
a lot of yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You can, yeah, it's fine. You can some of these are like therapy sessions too, so it's fine. So, so what do you love most about your work?
Um, well, right now, now that I have been doing sessions mostly over the course of my, 10 years in the industry, I'm kind of pivoting from that. So I do a lot less sessioning now, a lot more content creating. But I also do model booking. So I am a booking manager for, I don't, I think eight. I think I have eight other models, if that's right. I have to count because people come and go depending on what they need. But I think I have eight right now. And so that's really what takes up the bulk of my time is I manage other people's communications and bookings and negotiations and things of that nature. Um, so yeah, I love that part of it because I know that I'm helping them, because I know what it's like to not have help and be overwhelmed with the amount of communications that you receive on a day-to-day basis, and then being able to or having to manage that time. So currently, there isn't a day that I don't answer at least 500 emails a day. That's a minimum on most days. And then going from there, doing my own stuff, doing my own work with content creating. So that's as far as what I love the most. That's a very broad question because I do so many things, but what takes up the most of my time, which I do very much enjoy, is answering all of the messages that all these models get about work. Because I know that in the end, I am giving them back their free time and allowing them to go do things that they want to do while I am handling all of the hard part of the work itself. So that's the first thing. The other thing that I really enjoy is I do host foot fetish parties here in Austin and in Dallas. And we do 4 parties per year, and it's so fun. Like, it's so fun. And so we're trying to build a little bit because I have some bigger plans that come along with that. So we've been building since 2000, well, since after COVID, really, we started making a lot of changes to what we were doing, and it's been growing. So that's a whole lot of fun. And then I see my own clients and get to spend time with them, and that's rewarding for me. Seeing like repeat clients, that I get to see all the time. So yeah, that's kind of, I like it all, but those are the 3 main things that I deal with on a pretty daily basis. So,
No, okay, fair enough. So, what was your favorite scene to shoot?
right now, oh, I don't know that I could give a favorite. I really am enjoying doing a lot of belly stuff right now. Like I used to get requests, and it comes and goes, but I used to get requests for like belly customs where I'm just showing my belly and like playing with my belly and rubbing it and jiggling it because I am a BBW model. So people that follow me either follow me for my feet or my ass or my belly, because it's all big. So I've been enjoying shooting a lot more of that. I have, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 belly worship videos, people worshiping my belly. And they're a lot of fun to shoot. I'm very comfortable in my skin and very okay with my body. Like I like the way I am, and I feel comfortable in my skin. So it's nice to put that on display for other people to enjoy. And they do enjoy it because it is like one of my number one sellers of content right now. So,
So in the future, what studios are you dying to shoot with?
um, to be honest, I shoot my own content. So I'm a producer myself. So yeah, it's great to work with other producers. And if somebody wanted to work with me and they have an established store already, then I would be more than happy to. But I really prefer right now to shoot my own stuff, and it's more lucrative, first of all, because that, I mean, I'm then making the money off the content that I'm shooting. And I get to then choose what I'm doing and not being told what to do. So I don't have any, well, I can't say that. I would like to at least at one point work with Ivy Davenport. She is a BBW model as well. And we've had a chance to talk a little bit. I met her at FetCon a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And we've communicated occasionally, just, commenting on posts or sending cute little DMs or whatever. But at some point, I would like to get something going with her just because we kind of are in that similar genre. But I like shooting my own stuff. So I prefer it.
So here's one of those hard SAT long-winded questions. According to the 2022 Free Speech Coalition, 46% of adult workers have been restricted on services like PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. 36% of adult performers have lost at least one bank account. 55% have been denied insurance because of their background, and half have been denied a loan because of sex work. What do you think of those statistics?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I am a little different in that I do work with models. Some of the models that I book for have lost their Cash Apps, Venmo, Zelle, whatever it may be, because of, it's usually, to be honest with you, because guys are stupid. And I hate to use that word, but it's true. And they get really excited and they just they get stupid. And I don't mean that like on a long term. I mean like temporarily stupid, where they go and they send a cash app and they'll say, this is for a foot session in their notes. And you can't do that. Like, don't be stupid, you know? So that is a lot of the reason why most people end up losing their accounts, is because of the type of comments people make in their when they're sending payment for whatever it may be, a custom or a session or whatever. So it is difficult for me because I do run events. My LLC is under my event company, so I run all of my business through my event and party planning company. So I don't, so far, knock on wood, I have not had that problem, but it sucks. I think sex work is here, and I don't see it going anywhere, regardless of what you see in the media, or regardless of who's in office, or regardless of who's making the laws. It's the longest known profession. Um, you know, whether it's full service sex work or fetish work, it's here, and porn has been around for a long, long, long time. And I don't see the vast majority of people anywhere saying, "Oh, we're okay with giving that up," because they're not. So I feel like eventually there needs to come a time when we all come together and are like, enough is enough. Like, we have things in place, especially here in Texas, where age verification is a huge thing. So if we have age verification set up on all of these platforms, and we are doing our due diligence, even when I book sessions with people or sell customs or whatever, I'm usually asking for ID every time in a session. Like, I need to see your ID to know how old you are. If you are not of legal age, I will not even entertain. You will get blocked immediately. Like, I don't even want to speak with you. So we are doing our due diligence to make sure that minors are not affected by the work that we do. So if we're doing those things like we're supposed to, then there should be no reason why Visa, MasterCard, Cash App, all of these places don't want our business. They're losing money by not, they're losing a lot of money by not allowing us to have a little more freedom with what we do. So it's their loss, and they should wake up and understand that. But hopefully one day we'll all come together and revolt against the big companies.
So, what can people do to help sex workers?
Well, try to understand it, because I think a lot of people assume that, when do I call myself a sex worker? Absolutely. But do I have sex with my clients? No, I don't. And there are people that do. And there is absolutely, in my opinion, nothing wrong with people who do full service sex work. It's just not my thing. So not every person that is involved in the fetish porn or sex work industry um, is doing every single thing that people think they're doing. It's not, a lot of it's very mild. A lot of people who seek out services from people like myself really just want the company, for one. That's a lot of it. They want to have someone to sit and talk to and be able to indulge in their fetish without judgment. But also having that security of a transactional process. So a lot of, I can't say a lot, some of the guys that I deal with are socially anxious and are not comfortable talking to women in general. So whenever they're trying to date or trying to talk to women about the fetish that they have, it's embarrassing, and it's hard, it's demeaning when they are getting judged by mainstream. And so understanding that people like me exist because people don't know how to be nice and just decline politely, or say, I'm not really interested in that, but good luck with that, instead of saying you're weird or whatever, because it's not weird. Everybody has a thing. And so understanding that not everyone is uh, looking to hire someone for the sole purpose of just having sex with them. There is a lot more that's involved with that. And we do provide a service that is definitely needed. And understanding that there's a whole lot that goes into what we do. It is a job. I enjoy the job, but it is still a job, and it is needed. And as a society, we need to understand that there's a lot going on with people in general. mentally. So if you don't know someone and what they're going through, um, seeking someone out like me is almost a therapy type of situation for them. Not in the same sense as you'd hire like a therapist to help with your life problems, but sometimes, sometimes they want life advice, or how to talk to women, or how to talk to someone that they're dating about their fetish so that they could indulge in their fetish with them instead of having to hire someone, which I fully support. If you want to be able to work with your partner, but that can be difficult, especially if you really like someone and they've given some signals that maybe indicate that they're not into it. It makes it difficult. So anyway, I digress. So uh, having an outlet to be able to do that. So what I would like everyone to know from the mainstream, is that we all don't do the same thing. We all don't provide the same services, and we're not all in it for the same reason. But there is a need for it in our society as a whole, to help people have that outlet who can't get it otherwise. So
Yeah, that is definitely important because the dating scene is shite.
it's brutal.
It's
It's I would not want to be dating right now. I would not like I just wouldn't do it. Like it's brutal. Women, men and women. I can't just say women, but we're in a time of our era, that we're tired, of bullshit, to be honest, and tired of the overall um outlook of women from men, to be honest. And so from a dating perspective, I can see why women that are dating are the way they are. So men are unfortunately left out of left out of a lot of that. And so I get it. I get why they hire people to be able to fulfill whatever need they need.
yeah, yeah, and also it's like because it's like I feel like men and women in 2024 in the 2020s especially just don't like each other.
Yeah.
We because I remember last year when Barbie was coming out when it came
Mhm.
out and women were breaking up with their boyfriends because they didn't like the movie or they didn't get it
Yeah.
or which I thought to myself, imagine how petty you have to be to do that. Like it's
Yeah.
so because if you break up with your boyfriend that easily, it's like to me you probably didn't like him that much anyway. So it's like,
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest problem, and I've said this before in the past, just in general, and I still believe it to this day, but the biggest problem in the whole world, in every aspect, whether it is personal relationships, um, countries talking to each other, or whatever, school, whatever it may be that you're into, the biggest problem that we have in the world is communication and effective communication. People do not know how to communicate effectively, and people don't know how to take that communication objectively. So sometimes you're having a conversation and you assume that someone is saying something that they're not saying. And instead of talking to them about it and asking, like, did you mean this? Or explain that to me, or give me more information about what you're meaning. They just assume that, oh, that person's being hateful, or that person must have meant this, so I'm not going to like that person anymore, or I'm going to go off and blast them on social media, which is the thing to do nowadays, right? To just go on social media and rant about everything, which drives me insane. So talking to people, I'm very lucky that my life partner, my boyfriend that I am with now, we are both very effective communicators to each other and in general. So if I am not happy about something, he knows. And then we talk about the why and the when and the how to solve it for the future if there is a solution. And if there's not, we talk about a way to move forward. And we don't always see eye to eye. Don't get me wrong. It's not perfect. And I mean, nothing is, but it's an amazing relationship. None that I've ever had before because of that. That's the sole reason I can talk to him about how I'm feeling, and he listens to it, takes in the information, and then we have an actual adult conversation about what's going on. And people don't do that. Enough people. There are still some. I have friends that do that as well, but we don't have enough of that. And so it's it's needed. I think if everyone, when they went from middle school to high school, and then again from high school to college, and then again from college into the workforce, were required to take a communications course like effective communication and active listening, and also were required to go through therapy for a course of 3 months, 6 months, whatever, then we would be a much happier society and much more in tune with each other, because we're not the same, men and women. So we need to know how to communicate with each other. And if you don't try and don't care to try, then you're not going to do it effectively.
Well, I mean, even if people did have those requirements in school and during their formative years, uh, it'd still be hard to communicate because social media kind of ruined everything and it's become so ubiquitous.
Yeah. Yeah. People are real quick to jump on bandwagons on social media and jump on trends and trying to get clout. I think about, especially when it comes to men and women and communicating. Don't get me wrong, I am not saying that these women that feel the way they feel, their feelings are valid. I am a woman, obviously, and I will not go certain places by myself at certain times of the day. I'm very cautious about my surroundings. There are things as a woman that men don't understand and some don't try to understand. That as a woman, I don't feel safe everywhere I go, so I have to take precautions. So there is that aspect of it, and I think if there were men that were more sensitive to that aspect, I'll give you just a quick example. I We were getting ready. Me and my boyfriend were going somewhere, and we were having to take a long drive, and we were leaving at like 3 in the morning to get where we were going. And we had like two things left to pack in the car, and they were in our garage. And I was waiting on him to get ready because it's 3 in the morning, and I don't live in like a crappy area of town, but it's 3 in the morning. And I'm not going to go in outside in my garage and then load my car by myself at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just not, no matter where I'm at. And so I was waiting on him, and he was like, I thought you were going to go load the car with the last two things. And I was like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going out there by myself. And he didn't dawn on him because as a man, he would just go out at 3 o'clock in the morning and go take care of business, right? But as a woman, there's no way in hell that I would do that, regardless of where I'm at, unless I had someone with me. And so it's that kind of thing that men don't always think about, and it's not their fault. I don't, but it's their responsibility to try to learn, or at least try to understand. And I think that's kind of what's been lost, especially with social media, is that it's like blame, blame, blame. Like it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. And then there's the retaliation from that, instead of just everyone trying to like educate and then understand. So I don't think it'll ever get that way. I think it's going to get worse. But that really is what social media should be nowadays, is educating people about things that are happening to you as an individual, so other people can try to relate and understand and maybe come to a different understanding about things that are going on. So,
So what makes you stand out in this industry?
um, well, everyone stands out on their own. I think that every woman in the industry as a fetish model in general is unique and beautiful on their own. So I can't say that there's one specific thing about me other than the thing that I hear a lot from people is that I'm very open and accepting and non-judgmental, because I don't think that things people ask for are weird or stupid or unrealistic, and they shouldn't be ashamed of it. And so I may not participate or provide the services that everyone asks for, but I'm not going to judge you for it. And I will probably try to find someone that I know that might be willing to partake in said thing if I am not the one who does it. So I think that is probably the biggest thing for me, is that I'm very open with fetish in general, and I don't judge people for what they like.
And one last question, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
I'm working on a project, so I don't really want to say at this point, because it's kind of a thing that I want to wait until it's happening before I announce it. But I do have some plans that are coming that I hope that will impact the foot fetish community specifically. And so I hope to have that implemented well before the 5 year mark. But I'd like to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. I'll be 50 next year. So I'm definitely starting to slow down on things like travel and as much as I can and stay home more and do more of what I'm doing now, which is booking for other people. But I do have a project or maybe two that I'm working on to try to be able to do what I want to do from home more often and still be able to do what I love. So you'll have to be on the lookout, I guess.